Hello students, in today's class we are going to start the next chapter, statistics. As we know very well, statistics is the mark scoring chapter. It's a numerical chapter. If you know the formula and if you are good in your manipulative skills, we can score marks from this chapter, right? So in our earlier classes we have learnt many things in statistics like measures of central tendency. So before getting into it, what is statistics? Statistics is the a study of data, a collection of data for the specific purpose, right? In earlier classes we have learned how to represent data graphically and do some analysis based on the data. Especially we have learnt about measures of central tendency in our earlier classes. So what are all the measures of central tendency? Mean, median and mode, right? So what is meant by arithmetic mean? Arithmetic mean, median and mode, as the name suggests, they will give you some central value about the data, what the data is centered about, right? That's what we can learn, we can analyze through these three types of measures of central tendency, right? So in this class we are going to learn about measures of dispersion. So what is the difference between central tendency and dispersion? Why we need the measures of dispersion? Because they have given you, see, a beautiful illustration here. There are two batsmen. Consider now the runs scored by two batsmen in their last 10 matches as follows. So batsman A scored these runs in the last 10 matches and batsman B scored these runs in the last 10 matches. So we know how to find the mean and the median, right? So they found the mean and the median for batsman A and batsman B, and if we find both are 53 and 53. But when we analyze the data, if you see batsman A, his scores varies. See, it has a minimum score of 5 and even 0, and it has 117 as well. But if you see the batsman B scores, it is all around 40 to 60, right? Hope you all remember how to find the mean and the median of a raw data. What is the formula for mean? Mean we will denote it by x bar, and it is summation xi divided by n, right? N denotes the number of observations. So x1 plus x2 plus etc. xn divided by n, sum of all the values divided by total number of observations will give you the mean. And median, and this is for raw data. And median, again we have two formula. If n is odd, median will be given by n plus 1 by 2th observation. If n is even, median is given by the mean of n by 2th and n by 2 plus 1th observation after arranging the data in the ascending or descending order. That is very, very important. We cannot find the median as such. First you have to arrange the data in the ascending or descending order, and if it is going to be odd, median is n plus 1 by 2th observation. If it is even, it is going to be the mean of n by 2th and n by 2 plus 1th observation, right? So after find this, how they have found the mean and median of the two batsmen in the last 10 matches, and it has been found out as 53 and 53, right? But can we say that the performance of two players is same? Clearly no, because the variability in the scores of batsman A is from 0 to 117, as I told you, whereas the batsman B is from 46 to 60. So it is not at all enough by learning only the measures of central tendency, where is centered about. That alone won't give you a clear picture about the data. We need to learn about its variability as well, how it varies. They have pictorially, they have given it beautifully. See, batsman A scores are scattered here and there from 0 to 120. But if you see batsman B scoring, it is around 50 to 60, right? But the mean and median of both the batsmen, we got it as 53. So on looking at the mean and the median, I mean, with the central tendency, measures of central tendency, we cannot come to a conclusion about the variability of the data. So it is also important to learn about the variability, right? How it varies, or how it scatters, or how it disperses, right? That's why we call it as measures of dispersion. right? In this chapter, we are going to learn important measures of dispersion and their methods for calculation of grouped as well as ungrouped data. Hope you remember what is meant by grouped and what is meant by ungrouped data. Ungrouped data means raw data. Grouped data means which have their intervals, the range, class intervals, right? So in this chapter, we are going to learn about the various measures of dispersion like range, quartile deviation, mean deviation and standard deviation. In this chapter, these are the various measures of dispersion, but in this chapter we are going to learn about a range, mean deviation and standard deviation. We are not going to learn about quartile deviation, that you will be learning in your higher studies, right? And this range we already know. What is range? The maximum value minus the minimum value. This we have learnt in our earlier classes itself. So range also comes under measures of dispersion. Range of the series is maximum value minus minimum value. Alright. Next we are going to learn about mean deviation. So again, mean deviation can be calculated in for both the types, grouped data as well as ungrouped data. And this mean deviation can be calculated about mean as well as about median, right? How it deviates, how the values in the data deviates. That's what we are going to learn using this method. Now let us see what is the formula to find the mean deviation. Now as I told you, mean deviation can be obtained about any measure of central tendency. However, mean deviation from mean and median are commonly used. First, let us see what are all the steps involved in finding the mean deviation for ungrouped data. So let n observations be x1, x2, etc. xn. Then the following steps should be followed. First step is calculate the measure of central tendency about which we are going to find the mean deviation. It can be either mean or median. So let us denote it as A. Then after finding the measure of central tendency for the given data, we have to find the deviation of each xi from that A. What is meant by deviation? How we will find out? That is, we will find the difference between. That is what the deviation, right? So x1 minus that fixed value, it can be mean or median according to the problem which are we solving. x2 minus a, x3 minus a, likewise. Then the third step is find the absolute values of the deviations. So it is not necessary all the deviations should be positive. There are possibilities for it to be negative as well, because we are finding the deviations from the central value, right? Central tendency. So it will lies in the middle of the observation. So we will get both positive and the negative values when we find the deviation, right? So the next step is you have to drop the minus sign and take the absolute values, right? The last step is find the mean of the absolute values. Now we have to find the mean of these absolute values. This mean is the mean deviation about A. So it doesn't matter whether are you going to find the mean deviation about mean or mean deviation about median. Since it is going to be mean deviation, after finding the absolute values, you have to find the mean. Yes, hope you got it. This A can be mean or median, but at last, even if it is going to be median, at last you have to find the mean of these absolute values only, right? So first we have to find the measure of central tendency, either mean or median. Then find the deviation from the each x values. Then find the absolute values dropping the minus sign. Then you find the mean of these absolute values, right? And this first step, finding the measure of central tendency, you can adopt any method, because we know how to find the mean of a grouped data, ungrouped data, shortcut method, many things we have learnt. Similarly for median, right? So you can adopt any method to find the mean and the median, any method in the sense suitable to the problem, right? So they have given you by with the common value A. If it is going to be mean, then your mean deviation, if we write it in brackets, it means about, right? So mean deviation about mean is equals to 1 by n summation I is equal to 1 to n x minus x bar. So instead of this a, we have taken it as x bar. For this we need to find the mean. How we will find mean? We know summation x by n, sum of all the observations divided by total number of observations. Therefore summation all the deviations divided by n. Right? If it is going to be about median, here in this chapter capital M denotes median. So if it is going to be mean deviation about median, again it is going to be summation xi minus capital M divided by n. Right? This is all for ungrouped data. Right? We know how to find the mean for the ungrouped data. How we will find the mean for the ungrouped data? Just now we have seen summation xi by n. Right? And we know how to find the median for the ungrouped data. We will arrange it in the ascending or descending order. If it is odd, it is going to be n plus 1 by 2th observation. If it is going to be even, it is n by mean of n by 2th and n by 2 plus 1th observation. Using these two formula, we can find the mean and the median, and then we can apply in this formula to find the mean deviation about mean or mean deviation about median for the ungrouped data. Ungrouped data means only the x values will be given. Right? Next we are going to see how to find the mean deviation for grouped data. Now we are going to see about mean deviation for grouped data. Again under grouped data we have two: discrete frequency distribution and continuous frequency distribution. Discrete frequency distribution means we will have x values and f values, x1, x2, etc., and similarly the frequencies. Right? Continuous frequency distribution means instead of individual values for x, we will have the intervals. Right? So now first let us see what is the formula to find the mean deviation about mean for the discrete frequency distribution. Under discrete frequency distribution, we are going to see mean deviation about mean and mean deviation about median. Right? And whatever the data is going to be, the concept of mean deviation is same. What is the concept of mean deviation? First we have to find the measure of central tendency, then you have to find the deviation of x values from that particular measure of central tendency, then find the absolute values of those deviations, then as a fourth step you have to find the mean of those absolute values. So where you will find the difference here, it all depends on how we are going to find the measure of central tendency in the first step. If your data is going to be raw data, you will adopt the appropriate method to find the measure of central tendency. If your data is going to be discrete frequency distribution, accordingly you have to choose the method. If it is going to be continuous, then you have to choose the method in order to obtain your measure of central tendency. There only the formula differs. Otherwise, the concept behind mean deviation is same for all types of data. Right? Now what will be the formula for mean deviation about mean for the discrete data? Now we know how to find the mean for the discrete data, discrete distribution, frequency distribution. What we will do? We will find summation xi fi divided by summation fi. Hope you can recall. These are all the things we have learnt in our earlier classes. So this summation fi normally we will denote it by capital N. Therefore x bar is summation xi fi divided by capital N. Right? So first step we have to find the mean, then we have to find the deviation of each xi from the mean. So it is going to be xi minus x bar. Then third step we have to find the absolute values. So it is going to be modulus of xi minus x bar. Then fourth step we have to find the mean of these absolute values. How to find the mean of these absolute values? Since we are dealing with discrete frequency distribution, your formula is summation xi fi divided by summation fi. Right? Instead of this xi, we are going to use our deviations. So it is going to be summation fi xi minus x bar divided by summation fi. Right? Hope you understood. The same way for the mean deviation about median. So it all depends on how are you going to find the median now for the frequency, discrete frequency distribution. So what is the formula to find the median for the discrete frequency distribution? As usual, we will arrange the data in the ascending or descending order. After this, we will find the cumulative frequencies. While doing problem, you will get a better clarity in all these. Hope you might have forgot, right? So you have to find the cumulative frequencies. Then what we will do, we will find capital N. Capital N is nothing but sum of the frequencies, as I told previously. We will identify the observation whose cumulative frequency is equal to or just greater than capital N by 2. That will give you the median. I repeat, we will arrange the data in the ascending or descending order, then mostly with the ascending order. Then we will find the cumulative frequencies. Then we will check out for the observation. Then we will check out for the x value whose cumulative frequency is equal to or greater than this n by 2. Thus, that particular x value will give you the median, right? So, after finding the median, as usual, we will find the deviation of that x values from the median. Then we will find the absolute values. For these absolute values, we have to find the mean, which is nothing but summation fi xi divided by summation fi, which is nothing but capital N, since we are dealing with discrete frequency distribution, right? Hope you all understood. Let us see what is the formula to find continuous frequency distribution. Again, for continuous frequency distribution, your data will be like this, right? So we will have class intervals in the x values and your frequencies will be like this. How to find the mean deviation about mean? Again, it all depends on how are you going to find the mean for this data, right? It can be summation fi xi by taking the midpoints, right? Or else you can go with step deviation method. Step deviation method we have learnt in our earlier classes. A plus summation fi di by capital N into h, where d is xi minus a divided by h, where a is the assumed mean, right, and h is the common factor. You can go with the step deviation method and you can find the mean, right? After finding the mean, the normal procedure, we will find the deviation of each xi from the mean. Then we will find the mean of these absolute values. It is going to be summation fi modulus of x minus x bar divided by n. This is going to be mean deviation about mean, right? So what is this step deviation method? We will assume some mean, assumed value from the x values, and then we will subtract it, right? I will explain in detail while solving problems. Now next, what will be the formula to find the mean deviation about median? Again, we know for the continuous distribution, the formula for median is L plus n by 2 minus c divided by f into h, right? Where median class is the class interval whose cumulative frequency is just greater than or equal to n by 2. That will be our median class. Then capital N is sum of frequencies. L is the lower limit of the median class. Then f is the frequency of the median class. Then h is the width of the median class, and c is the cumulative frequency of the class just preceding the median class. Hope you remember all these things. You have to recall, right? After finding the median, as usual, we will find the deviations, absolute values, then its mean. That will give you the mean deviation about median, right? So these are all the things we have seen here. First, we have seen mean deviation for grouped data, then ungrouped data, and then the grouped data. For ungrouped data, we can find mean deviation about mean and as well as mean deviation about median. It is going to be simply summation I is equal to 1 to n modulus of xi minus x bar divided by n. Instead of xi, it is going to be median. For grouped data, again there are two types, discrete frequency distribution and continuous frequency distribution. For discrete, again it all depends on how are you going to find your mean. Mean is summation xi fi divided by n. And for median, we know we will arrange it in the ascending order, cumulative frequencies, and then the observation which has equal to or greater than n by 2 cumulative frequency, right? Then for continuous frequency distribution, we can go with step deviation method or the normal direct method, summation fxi by summation f. And then last is mean deviation about median. For that we have to use this formula. So you have to remember all these formula. So with this we are going to solve problems now. Now I'll do example problem in each model. First let us find the mean deviation about mean for the following data. This is ungrouped data. About mean we are going to find out. They will give only the x values. So I have listed out all the x values. As a first step we have to find the mean for this data, right? So what is mean formula? X bar is summation x divided by n, right? So if we add all these, we are getting the value as 72. 72 is summation x. And if we see the number of observation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So n is 8. So 72 divided by 8, which is 9. So as a first step, we found the mean as 9, right? Now the second step is we have to find the deviation of each of these x values from the mean, right? So we have to find out x minus, our mean is now 9. So x minus 9 we have to find out for each and every x values, right? So 6 minus 9 is going to be minus 3. So if we subtract each x values from the 9, 6 minus 9 is minus 3, 7 minus 9 is minus 2, 10 minus 9 is 1. Likewise, we have found all the deviations of x values from the mean, right? So it can be negative as well as positive. Next, we have to find the absolute value of all these deviations. Absolute value means what? We have to drop down the negative sign. So it is going to be 3, 2, 1. If it is going to be positive, it will remain as positive only. 4, 5, 1, 3. Right? What is the formula for mean deviation about mean? Mean deviation about mean is we have to find the mean for this absolute values. We have to find the mean for this absolute values. How to find the mean for these absolute values? Since it is going to be a raw data, it is summation x by n. So in what way you are going to find the mean for this data in the first step? In the same way you find the mean for the absolute values in the second step. So it is going to be summation. Instead of x, we are going to take these absolute values. X minus x bar divided by n. This is what mean deviation about mean. So we have to add all these things, right? So if we add all these absolute values, we are getting 22. So mean deviation about mean is 22 divided by 8. So which is equal to 2.75. Therefore mean deviation about mean for the given data is 2.75. Hope you understood. First step we have to find the mean. Then second step you have to find the deviation of each x value from the mean. Third step you have to find the absolute value for all these deviations. Fourth step you have to find the mean for these absolute values. That gives you the mean deviation about mean, right? Now let me show you how to find the mean deviation about median for the same kind of data, right? Now let us see the second question. Find the mean deviation about the median for the following data. So as a first step we have to find the median for the data. So what is the procedure to find the median for the raw data? Here n is 11. The number of observations if you count we have 11, which is odd, right? So first step we have to arrange the given data in the ascending or descending order. I have arranged it in the ascending order. Since n is odd, median formula is n plus 1 by 2th observation, which means 11 plus 1 divided by 2th observation, which is 12 by 2. 12 by 2 is nothing but 6. So it is 6th observation. So which is your 6th observation? In the arranged order, not in the question. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your 6th observation is 9. Therefore median is 9. So as we found mean for the given data as a first step, here we found the median for the given data as a first step, right? Next we have to find the deviation of each x value from the median, since it is about median, right? So as a first step, we have listed out all the x and we have to find the deviation of these x from its median. So 3 minus 9, median is 9, minus 6, 9 minus 9, 0, 5 minus 9, minus 4. Likewise, we have to find the deviation of these x values from the median. Next step, we have to find the absolute values, which means we have to drop the negative sign. Therefore, mean deviation about median, what is the formula? Now we have to find the mean of all these absolute values. How to find the mean for all these absolute values? Summation x by n. Instead of x, we have to take all these absolute values. So summation modulus of x minus m divided by n. So if we add all these values, we are getting 58, right? So 58 divided by n is 11. So 58 divided by 11, which is 5.27. 5.27 is the mean deviation about median for the given data. Right? Hope you got it. Let us move on to the next problem now. Now let us see how to find the mean deviation about mean for this kind of problem, right? They have given you x and f. This kind of problem is called as discrete frequency distribution. Discrete frequency distribution. They have given you x values and f values, right? So how to find it? As a first step, we have to find the mean because they asked you to find about the mean, right? So how will you find the mean for this kind of data? Summation fi xi divided by summation fi. So first we have to list out x, f, then we have to find out fi xi, then we have to find the sum of these two and divide. That will give you the mean, right? So we found what is fi xi everything, and after dividing we got x bar as 7.5. Now as a next step, what we have to find? We have to find the deviation of these x values from the median. In the previous problems we have done it in two steps. First we found the deviation and then the absolute value. I made it as a single step now. So we are going to find the difference, right? We are going to find the difference between x and the x bar. If you are going to get negative value, we are going to write it as positive only because we made it as a absolute value. So what is 2 minus 7.5? It is going to be minus 5.5. I am going to write only the absolute value. So 5.5. 5 minus 7.5 is minus 2.5. So it is just 2.5. 6 minus 7.5 is minus 1.5. I am going to write the absolute value 1.5. Next is 8 minus 7.5 is 0.5. 10 minus 7.5 is 2.5. 12 minus 7.5 is 4.5, right? After finding the absolute values, actually we have to find the mean of these absolute values. That will give you the mean deviation about the mean. But how to find the mean of these absolute values? Since we have discrete distribution, frequency distribution, mean can be found by using this formula, summation fi xi divided by summation fi, right? Therefore, mean deviation about mean is going to be a summation fi. Instead of xi, we have to use these absolute values. So, modulus x minus x bar, xi minus x bar divided by summation fi. Hope you understood, right? How to find the mean using this formula, since we are dealing with discrete frequency distribution. So as far as this formula is concerned, what is our next step? We have to find out fi into modulus of xi minus x bar. So fi into modulus of x minus x bar. So we are going to multiply this fi with this column, right? Then we have to find sum of these. That will give you summation fi into x minus x bar, right? Now as I told you, I have multiplied this fi column with modulus of x minus x bar. 2 into 5.5 is 11, 8 into 2.5 is 20. Likewise, we found everything. Now as for the formula, we need a sum of all these. So I have added everything, which is 92, and summation fi is 40. So we have to divide 92 by 40. That gives you mean deviation about the mean, which is 2.3, right? Hope you understood. Let me show you another problem where how to find the mean deviation about the median for this discrete frequency distribution, right? So first we have to find the median and then we have to follow the same procedure. Now let us see how to find the mean deviation above the median for the given data, right? So first let us find the median. How to find the median? X values, F values we have listed out. First let us find what is capital N. For the discrete data, raw data, ungrouped data, we found n, small n as the number of observations. Based on n, whether it is going to be odd or even, we have the formula for the median, right? The same way, instead of small n, here we are going to calculate capital N. Capital N is nothing but summation f, alright? Summation f is 30 here. Summation f is 30, which is even. Therefore, your median is mean of, if n is 30, what is n by 2? N by 2 is 30 divided by 2, which is 15, right? Therefore, median is mean of 15th and 16th observation, right? Now, let it be aside. Now, before that, I wish to tell you here, before finding mean, I told you the data should be arranged in a ascending order. We know how to arrange it in ascending order if we have a raw data, but here we have along with the frequencies. So, while you are arranging the values, you have to arrange only the x values in the ascending order. I repeat, you have to arrange only the x values in the ascending order. But in this problem, the data itself is arranged in the ascending order. So, we don't have that step, right? But suppose if you have a mixed sort of values for x, first you have to arrange the x values in the ascending order. While you are arranging the x values in the ascending order, the corresponding frequency only you have to write. You should not arrange the frequencies also in the ascending order. Many will make this mistake. You should not do that. The frequency is for the x value. What is meant by frequency? How many times that value, particular value occurred, right? So, number 3 occurred 3 times. So, you have to arrange only the x values in the ascending order. The corresponding frequency of that number you should retain in the same place. You should not arrange it again in the ascending order. Hope you got it. Suppose if this 6 is somewhere here and if you are going to replace 6 in the second position and the 6 frequency is 4, that 4 only you should write it here. Okay, you should not change the frequencies. Right, but in this problem the x values are already in the ascending order, so you don't want to arrange it further. Then next step is you have to find CF. What is CF? Cumulative frequency. How to find the cumulative frequency? You should keep on add these values. So first value you have to write as such 3, then 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 5 is 12, 12 plus 2 is 14, 14 plus 4 is 18, 18 plus 5 is 23, 23 plus 4 is 27, 27 plus 3 is 30. Actually, your last value of CF will be your summation F, right, which is nothing but capital N. We found capital N as even, alright. Therefore, your median is n by 2 is going to be 15 and your median is mean of 15th and 16th observation. So, where will you find your 15th and 16th observation? You have to look for a number which is equal to n by 2 or greater than n by 2 in your CF. We don't have equal to 15, but we have just greater than 15, which is 18, right? So, the corresponding x value is 13. So, for this 15th and 16th observation, we are going to go with 13, right? So, 13 plus 13 divided by 2. Mean what? You have to add and divide it by 2, right? Therefore, 13 plus 13 divided by 2. Why I have written 13 2 times? Because both 15th and 16th observation corresponds to 13. When we talk about observation, you have to look only in the x values. F denotes only the frequencies, remember, right? So, what we have done here, we found n, then n by 2. How to identify your CF? It is equal to n by 2 or just greater than n by 2, the corresponding x value. If n is odd, what will happen? Directly the directly the CF, which is equal to n by 2 or greater than n by 2. X corresponding to that you have to take it, right? So our median is 13, right? So after this what we have to find out? We have to find the deviation of these x values from the median, absolute value, x minus capital M, which is x minus 13, right? We have to find the difference of these x values from the median, right? So after finding the mean, we have to find the absolute values of x minus the median, right? After finding the median, we have to find the absolute values of the deviations from each of the x values. So we have found it 3 minus, our median is 13, right? So 3 minus 13 is minus 10. Since it is absolute value, we have written it 10. Likewise, the remaining values. So after this, what is the next step in finding mean deviation? We have to find the mean of these absolute values. How to find the mean of these absolute values? Summation fi xi divided by summation f, right? So we have to multiply. This is what our x now. For this only we are going to find our mean. So fi xi. So f with this column we have to multiply. 3 into 10 30, 4 into 7 28, likewise. After multiplying, we have to add. That gives our summation fi modulus of x minus median divided by summation f, right? So that will give you the mean deviation about the median. Yes, hope you understood. In today's class, we have seen 4 different methods of finding mean deviation for the different types of data. So with this, let us wind up today's class, and I want you to do exercise 5.1 question number 2, 3, 5, 8. As I have done 4 problems of the same model, I have given you 4 questions. So do it by your own, then only you will get a better clarity, and you can ask me if you have doubts. Thank you, students.